welcome to Pywarriors. And in this is the second episode of my Django's and Angular web series, where I'm building a website from scratch. And in the previous episode, I was talking about creating a Django project and adding models. So I have actually added three models to the Django project, which you can see in the previous video. And today I'm going to create an Angular 7 project, so that I can build the front end. And I deliberately did not did an API session there because I was hoping I would build the front end, and then when the need comes, I will build the corresponding API in the Django side. So this tutorial will be uh, fluctuating from Angular 7 and Django intermittently, and this is kind of how I develop my projects single-handedly. So when working on a team, we would do stuff like somebody would be doing the front end and another person would be doing the back end. That won't be a problem. But when developing solo, that is when there is only one developer, then they would develop like this: uh, create a front end and then create the corresponding APIs. So today I'm going to be doing kind of like that, and I have a design in my mind which I'm going to be uh, fulfilling in this front end. So let's see how it's done. So first of all, I would like to install the Angular CLI, and I think I have already done that because I have used Angular CLI for some other projects. So let's see. Yeah, I have this Angular CLI at 9.0.2, and my node version is 12.13.0. So here, this is the command to install the Angular CLI. So I would just make sure it's big enough so that you can see npm install -g @angular slash CLI, and then we can create a new app. So let's create a new app for the front end. So this is the folders there. So I have already created a folder named happy hacks for the Django backend. So I'll create ng new, this thing ng new, and happy hacks of ng for Angular. So happy hacks ng. Okay. So this will install some dependencies and yeah, Angular routing. Yes, sure. So I'll use CSS. So yeah, the CSS. And it's installing. This would take some time depending on your system. It's been installed successfully. So let's check out the folders. Happy hacks ng, and this is the folders here. So it had created all these files for us and had installed all the necessary node modules, and then there is a source folder here, and the primary coding that we do is completely under this source folder. There is an app folder inside the source folder. There is where the majority of our code will live. So it has some app components and app modules, all that things. So before we dive into this, I have to add a CSS framework here, and also I would like to add the Angular material module to this project, because um, Google has provided some nice UI elements via Angular material. Let's jump into that site. So Angular material UI component library, and that's the material UI library for Angular, and it has some nifty components that we can use, and it's kind of designed for mobile interface. So this would automatically make our website more mobile friendly. And if you are looking at the statistics, then we can see that more people now use mobile phones for browsing web. So it has to be mobile ready. So here, this is the site for the Angular material, and there is a lot of commands here. You can see form controls, autocomplete, checkbox, date picker, everything is there. So I'll use this for the components inside the app, but for the overall layout I'll be using Bulma is a CSS framework which no dependencies whatsoever with any JavaScript framework. So as far as Bootstrap is concerned, it's dependent on its JavaScript libraries for functionality, but Bulma, it's completely devoid of any JavaScript. So to use Bulma, we have to just npm install Bulma. So let's view the docs here. So mm, so here, yeah, this is the main USP of Bulma. Just one CSS file. So yeah, there is a CDN also. So and it uses the font awesome library for icons. So let's install that thing, npm install Bulma. So here in our project, npm install Bulma. Okay. So this will install the Bulma package into our Angular project, and I will also be installing the Angular material module also. So it's installing. So let's dive into the Angular material side of things. So get started. So installing ng add. So it's just ng add. So I'll add the ng Angular material module to this project. And so it's asking me to choose a theme. So I'll choose a default theme for now, deep purple amber. Okay, yes, I want that. Browser animations, sure. It's installing the packages. Okay, the package has been installed successfully. So now let's look into each of the component. Before that, we can sure, sorry, it's not Ionic. I have been working on an Ionic project lately. So ng server, yes, I think it's ng server. So Ionic uses Angular for building the mobile application. So I'll be also covering Ionic in the later stages. So I'm planning on that because since we are using Angular material and uh, using Angular 7, we can also use these components to create an Ionic app. So that way we can have that app in multiple environments like on Android and iOS. So I'll be covering that also in this session. So stay tuned for that. So here it's compiling. So we could launch a new tab here, new window here, and let's look at the files here. So it's app.component.ts. There will be nothing there, just some scaffolding, and here so this is the app.component.ts, and now um, so let's see what's happening there. It's compiled successfully, so let's have a look at what we are dealing with. So that's it will be serving on 4200, I think. 4200, that's the port. Yeah, so this is the default page of Angular 7 project. So let's get this changed, and before that, yes, I want to add some menu bars here. So first of all, I want to add a menu from Bulma. So I have to have this documentation. You have to have this pages open because nobody can remember everything, and I have actually not have this snippets there. So I usually use snippets with all these projects. So but unfortunately, because after switching to NeoVim, and this snippets kind of was very slow, so I decided to ditch that off. And now we can uh, add a component there. So first of all, this is the app component.html. The we can clear it out now. So this root routlet is important, so leave that and remove everything else. So no, sorry. So that's, yeah, there is root routlet. So this root routlet is a Angular component which acts as a placeholder for other uh, things to adhere to. Let's you'd better understand it when you see it working. So let's leave that for now, and then we can add a menu bar. And as this is a simple project, I will add menu bar right into the app.component.html because why not? And the recommended way of doing things is, if you are using something that is that can be used in other pages, then the best way is to make it a component. But since that is not necessary for this project, I would be doing that, but I will be creating other components, so you can know how it's created and how it's been used. So let's add before that, we have to add the Bulma CSS to the project. So to do that, Angular.is, I think, yeah, here styles. So here you have to add the Bulma also. So let's look at that. And okay, So here I have to add slash node modules slash bulma slash css slash bulma dot .css. So there you go. So we can add the bulma's syntax here, and let's see how a menu is. So a nav bar, we can add a nav bar here. So let's use this for the time being, and but let's look at the site here. So let's see if it's compiled or not. Sometimes this happens, so just reserve again. Yeah, it's working. So here we have applied the bulma css to this project. So then we can now add on to this. So see you in the next video, and also please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and have a nice day.